How's it going, everybody? Welcome into the Jays Digest pregame show. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Today, we're going to be previewing the Jays and the Red Sox. There is some speculation that this game might get rained out, and of course, in spring training, they don't reschedule games, so that would have been a televised game that we would not have gotten to see, but it looks as though around 25 minutes from game time now that it will be played. Ben Wagner has been tweeting, previewing the game, so it looks okay. The lineup came out a couple hours ago, and I'm very excited for this one ahead of all the World Baseball Classic matchups that we got today too.
Yeah, and like Nick said in the chat there, Captain Kirk, it is Kirk's debut today. Long
Yes.
awaited, honestly, long awaited for him to see how he performs, see what kind of shape he's in. And then we also have Brandon Belt. But yeah, I guess let's get right into the lineup previews. And like you said, around 25 minutes away from first pitch. And it's going to be a good one today. It's televised and a fairly decent lineup is being put out. And yeah, so here's the Blue Jays lineup right here. You have Whit Merrifield starting at second with Bo Bichette at short, Alejandro Kirk making his debut at catcher, Brandon Belt at DH, Kiermaier, Relvis Martinez, Addison Berger in the outfield with Nathan Lucas and Rainier Nunez. And I guess, Peter, what are your thoughts on the lineup? Who are you looking out for? Obviously, I guess Kirk and Belt, but Relvis, I'm excited to see him too. It's honestly one of the more exciting lineups that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think this is probably the most exciting lineup, and
Yeah.
not all the stars are in there. Bo Bichette's in there. I'm glad to see that. But Addison Barger in left field is the one notable for me now. The final, all the talk about the final roster spot has been between Otto Lopez. It's also been between Nathan Lucas and to a certain degree Vinny Capra. I think the general consensus is that Addison Barger is probably going to start the year in AAA and just see how he develops over there. And they want to get him consistent playing time in the minors before they do call him up to the major leagues and he makes his debut. But if he can play the outfield and play it at an above average rate, and if he can keep continuing to hit the way he's been hitting in spring training, flashing off that power and that good eye that he has at the plate, then he is a dark horse to make this team. Although I'd still lean towards him starting the year in AAA. I think him being more versatile and playing as many positions as possible bodes well for him maybe making an impact in 2023.
Yeah, I agree. And like I mentioned to you on text, I think having him in the outfield is basically echoing what you said is maybe he snags that fourth outfielder spot. I don't think he starts the year in as the fourth outfielder, but maybe they are, grooming him to be a potential outfielder in the future because he does have a, 60 grade arm. He has a plus arm. So I don't know, very, very interesting. And
It's possible.
yeah, it's very, very possible. Very good lineup. You guys see any surprises for the roster once camp breaks? Peter, I'll let you answer that question, and then we'll get to Mike Nolas' question.
Well, we've been talking about it throughout our videos in the past, like I'd say week or so, because we've seen some good breakout performances in spring training, most notably by Yasmer Zulueta in the bullpen, Julian Fernandez, Nate Pearson in the bullpen. So we've kind of come to the general consensus that 6 out of the 8 spots are fully locked down in the bullpen. So that leaves around 2 spots available. And assuming Trevor Richards is one of those final 2 spots, which would probably make sense because he has no options and he is a veteran guy, then yeah, that would make sense. So let's say there's 1 spot in the bullpen available. It leaves it up between, I'd say, Zach Pop, Nate Pearson, Yasmer Zulueta, Mitch White, Zach Thompson. There's a ton of different options that could probably take over that final spot there. And I mean, in the lineup, there's 12 out of 13 spots occupied as well. So there's probably one more position player that'll make this team and there's a lot of guys up for that conversation as well.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Alejandro Kirk. Yeah, what's up, Adam? Welcome back. Alyssa saying Captain Kirk is my favorite player. And yeah, Kirk is definitely back, so I know it's going to be a lot of fan favorites. He's obviously a fan favorite, and a lot of people are excited to see him. And I'm hoping he hits well, and hopefully he's in good shape. And yeah, Rainier Nunez has been pretty solid this spring. He's been pretty solid after the walk-off hit. Nothing too crazy, but he's been pretty solid. But I guess we'll also get into the Red Sox lineup now, which is Emmanuel Valdez, Rafaela Palka, Nico Goodrum, Steven Scott, Crook, David Hamilton, Nick Sogard, Miguel Blyce, and Chris Murphy. So not the best lineup there. Anyone here? And Nico Goodrum is a decent player, got some power, but also I forgot to mention that Alek Manoah is taking the bump today. I figured that was kind of implied, but he is taking the hill today, and hopefully he's gonna work on his last start or work off of his last start. Anyone here in the Red Sox lineup that really stands out to you, or is it more of a focus on the Blue Jays kind of day?
Not really. I mean, I couldn't care less about the Red Sox, if I'm being honest with you. And then to add on top of that, I mean, the trend in the spring has definitely been for all teams, not just the Blue Jays, to rest your players when you're on the road because the games usually aren't televised. So yeah, it makes sense that they're fielding this kind of lineup, and I mean, we'll see a much different Red Sox team. I mean, the Jays handed them their first loss, and by all indications, I think another loss is coming the Red Sox way. Looking at the two lineups here.
Yeah, I think so as well, though. It's been kind of surprising so far. I still get the feeling that there's a signing or trade coming before the regular season. It's very, very possible. It's also possible that maybe Nathan Lucas takes the spot, but I'll digress. We hear the lineups again, so you can have a quick look before we move on. And Manoah, which is also a kind of a hidden. Usually Manoah would be the highlight of this game for me, but with Alejandro Kirk and Brandon Belt and Aurelvis Martinez playing, and of course Addison Barger as well, there's
Yeah,
tons of players to look out for today. A lot of people battling for that spot, and I'm going to keep a specific eye out on Aurelvis Martinez as he continues to have some hopefully advancing his plate discipline and his overall approach. But that's the Jays lineup. This is the Red Sox lineup. And Peter, let's move on now to the rapid fire segment. But first, I'll quickly answer this. Where do you see Alejandro Kirk in the lineup once the camp breaks? I think he's going to be in the 3 spot or the 4 spot. I would say maybe the 5 spot. I think I haven't.
yeah, I'd go
I
fifth.
think 5. I think the top 4 seems pretty. I think the people are pretty comfortable there with Springer, Bo. Those 4 players. I guess Varsho at 3, or depending Belt. Probably Belt is more often at 3 with Vladdy at 4. But I think our right-handed hitter, 4th or 5th outfielder's probably gotten right at the end of spring when a lot of roster crunch and squeeze has to happen. Yeah, or even at the trade deadline as well. But let's move into the rapid fire questions now. Peter's going to ask me a question. I'm going to ask him a question. You guys can answer in the chat. And Peter, I don't know if you have one. I already have mine ready, so I can start if you want.
I
Okay,
got mine,
you
but
can start.
you can
Okay,
start.
I'll
You
start.
can
I'll
start.
start. All right,
You
so we're
start.
sticking on the Alejandro Kirk, I guess, theme today, and let us know in the chat what your answer is to this. Over or under 18 and a half home runs on the year. So will Alejandro Kirk have more than, or 19 home runs or more by the end of the regular season? Let us know in the chat, yes or no. Kirk 4th behind Vlad, definitely possible. Peter, what's your answer for that?
I'm gonna go under. I
Okay.
think around 15 is the number that I'd go with for Alejandro Kirk, and I think Danny Jansen's gonna play a bit more than 72 games, and we won't see Kirk DH as much this
No.
year. So I think he'll be around the 100 to 110 game mark, and I think he's around 15 home runs.
Okay, I was going to put the line at 15 and a half, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go maybe slightly. I think it's around 19 to 20. I think it's
Pistol
around.
Petey, shout out to you, Pistol Petey. That's also my nickname. That's my nickname every now and then. So I think he had what do you have? Around 14. I think he had 14 last year.
Someone can double check that. I think it's around 14. I don't know if I search it up. Tons of hotkeys are going to come up. So
I think
over,
14.
over,
I'll
over.
look it up.
Sure, lots of overs, couple unders. And yeah, it is a Monday, of course. It's the start of the work week, which is unfortunate, but at least we get some Jays baseball to start off our week. And thanks again, Pistol Petey. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 overs, 1 under, 5 overs. I think over barely. I think it's close. I think around 19, but I could easily see him going under. It depends. And Peter's checking how many he had last year.
He had 14. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Actually,
right on
maybe
the
under
money
because he's
there.
only going to play half the games. He's going to play. He's still going to play a lot, but he's probably going to play less than last year because the DH spot's not as open simply because of Brandon Belt. I like the line. If he hits 20 home runs, you have a crazy season considering games played. Yeah, what's up, Calvin? Hope you're doing well. Under only because I think Belt will be DHing more. I think that's kind of what it comes down to. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. All right. I'll go with my question now. It'll be prospect focused here. So if the game were to get rained out today, we would have been doing a prospect video for you guys. 3 prospects that we're most excited about heading into the season. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, surefire prospects. Like, obviously, we're excited to see how Tiedemann performs, Aroldis Martinez, Addison Barger, and Brandon Barriera. But who's one guy that, okay, it could be Barriera, but that we won't see in the major league level for a while that you're most excited to see in 2023? Or I'll rephrase it, a guy that we won't see in the bigs in 2023 that you're most excited to follow in the minors this year.
All right, so I'm going to I'll let the chat think about that for a second. I think I know what I think it's Calvin's answer is going to be, if based on his bold predictions for healthy games there. But we'll also make sure to hit the like button. If you have 4 likes right now, let's try to get that to 10 really quick. Let's get that up to 10. And thank you all for tuning in. That's a good question. And so someone we won't see this year who we could see, I'm going to go with Adam Macko. That's what I'm going to go with. Adam Macko.
Adam Macko. Okay.
I think
That's a good one.
he's been rising up. We obviously got him in the Teo trade. I think he's not going to play this year, of course. But Calvin, you can let us know what yours is. But Berrios, Sam Roberts, that was one I was also going to say, Mantis. I said that to Peter off camera. But
yeah, I'm going to go with Tucker Toman, switch hitting third baseman that the Jays drafted in the supplemental first round last year. I mean, he's only going to be up in the bigs around 2025, 2026. So he's still a ways away, still a couple years away. But man, this guy's a switch hitting third baseman. Just such a smooth swing. The power's not quite there yet. He didn't even hit I don't know how many extra base hits he had in his first rookie year. But I'm going to go with Tucker Toman. I'm so excited to see him fill out and see if he can add some power to his game, because I think he's going to be a surefire major leaguer for sure.
yeah, I like him. We have Shane Turner, St. Barriera, Mantis. What's up, Mantis? Hope you're doing well. Sam Roberts, Calvin, of course, Emmanuel Beltre. Broseph with Tucker Toman. He agrees with you there. Adam Macko. Another person likes Toman. Sam Roberts might play in the bigs. It's possible. I love Sam Roberts. I'm excited to see how Beltre does. Yeah, Emmanuel Beltre is another. He's not going to play for a while. I think he's 17.
Hayden Yanger is another guy that I'm very
might
excited
play this
to
year,
see
though.
how he does. Cause yeah, he might, but I think I'm fully locked into him being a starting pitcher, and I'd give him a couple more years just because his stuff is that good. And I'd go with Hayden Yanger as my second choice, and he's more of an underrated prospect in a sense. So, do you have a third?
I like
a third question.
I do. I also like Hagen Danner, but unfortunately he's been experiencing some injuries as well. But this is going to be an interesting one. Again, it's kind of more tailored towards. This is a season one. It's a home run one again, but I'm very curious to see. So, who do you guys think has more home runs to end the year, Brandon Belt or Danny Jansen? It's a question I'm going to ask, and I'm gonna have to think about it for a sec. I don't know if there's an easy answer. Maybe there is. Maybe there isn't. So who do you think finishes the season with more home runs, Danny Jansen or Belt? I think I know my answer is gonna be Jansen.
Danny Jansen.
But
Jansen.
But we'll see.
Me, yeah.
We'll see. Because Belt's more of a power hitter than Danny. Even though Danny has terrific power, it relies a lot on health. Though I think Danny is the safe one. I'd like to see Desan Brown. Yeah, Desan Brown would be cool.
Roberts is from the Netherlands. Yeah. And Macko
cool.
is, I thought he was from Czechia, Mike, if I'm not mistaken.
I hope Desan Brown.
I'm gonna go with Danny Jansen. I'm gonna go with Danny Jansen for.
I think it's gonna be so close because Belt has a possibility to crank 30 if he plays a lot, but then at the same time, I guess so does Danny. Belt Jansen. Okay, so we're 2 for 2 and 2 right now.
Because the thing with Brandon Belt is he'll only be in the lineup if he's hot. I mean, we know Danny Jansen's going to play just because Kirk needs his days off. So I think by default, he's going to get at least 75 games. Will Brandon Belt get 75 games?
Depends.
I don't know. I'm not so sure. If he hits a cold stretch, you have so many other guys that can DH that, you don't necessarily need to put Belt in the lineup. So I don't know. I'm gonna lean Jansen, but I think it's close as well.
Yeah, it's split. The answers are split, and very, very interesting. I was curious to see, and I guess let's move on now to our bold predictions part, as we're around 11 minutes away from first pitch. Make sure to hit the like button. It helps us a lot, and I guess the subscribe button if you're new as well. We do these daily streams, but let's get into the third one, bold predictions. I'll let you start, Peter. What is a couple of or one? We can go one. I have two, and I guess you can have two as well for today's game. I'll pop the lineup up and let us know any of your bold predictions in the chat and see if anyone is gonna be right today.
I know you're gonna go with the Kirk one, so I guess I'll pick something.
You can take Kirk
here
today. You can take Kirk.
No. You go ahead. You go ahead. I like to pick some that are off the board there. So I'll go with Addison Barger makes a diving catch and gets an outfield assist in left field.
I like that.
And I'm gonna also go with a Brandon Belt 2-homer day.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I have a Alejandro Kirk triple and a Kevin Kiermaier home run. That's my bold prediction for the day. I'm just gonna take some inspiration and hope that the Red Sox play the infield I mean, play the outfield like Great Britain did yesterday. Just play the field in general like Great Britain did yesterday, and we get a little triple at Alejandro Kirk. That's the plan. What a game that was. What's up, Lion?
That was, I don't know if I want to talk about it anymore. I mean, the original plan for all of you guys in here was to, have like a good 30-minute to an hour live stream after the Canada game, but they ended up taking 4 hours to play 7 innings. And let me tell you, I'm going to be watching the Canada versus USA game tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be absolutely no live stream after that one. The game could take an hour. The game could take an hour for all I care. I will not be hopping on here and talking about Canada baseball
After that
after
horrible
what I
game.
saw
Oof.
yesterday. It was not horrible. It was not it was horrible for Great Britain.
Correct.
Saw some things that I did like out of Canada, but it was all Mike must be pissed off because he's a big Great Britain guy. And I told you they had no chance. They had no chance, Mike. You don't want to believe me. You were on the Great Britain hype train, but it's all right. We'll see. We'll see how they do the rest of the
We
tournament.
will have another, or Peter at least will have another stream though for a World Baseball Classic, I'm sure, before it ends. It's just not. For some reason, they're starting so late tonight. So, and for me, it's even later. First pitch is almost midnight. So
Yes, yes. Tuesday, tomorrow they're playing at 3 p.m.
better.
But I'm working, so I won't be able to
We'll figure.
make the stream unless you want to go for it, Nick.
I
You
might.
can go for it
See what.
if you'll be watching the game.
I will be. Let's go to the bold
Uh,
predictions real quick. I kind of forgot to miss them. Biggio takes the starting second
Yeah.
base job is a key in the lineup. Martinez home run and walk. I can't wait to see the jiggle factor on the Kirk triple. I mean, that's why I guessed it. Kirk goes 2 for 2. Kirk goes 1 for 2. That's not too bold. Matt, 1 for 2. Forget Biggio is part of that big three. I'm gonna go with Martinez 2 to 3 and a home run. I think Martinez cranks another bomb today. I think he does.
You think so?
I think he does.
Is that bold? It's not bold.
Nah, it's not that bold.
It's not bold. The guy hit 30 of them last year. He hit 30. Come on.
Couldn't hit anything else though. You two solo, okay. You both together as entertainment. Yeah,
You're right.
We definitely prefer.
You're
the,
right. A lot more fun this way.
Love the pitch clock. Pace is much. Yeah, I was saying that before. I like the pitch clock a lot after, especially after. Now the game would have took a long time yesterday, regardless with Team Canada, but it would have cleaned it out by probably 45 minutes to an hour. Though at the end of the day, you can't. There's no fielding clock. So
I don't even know, Matt. No, because Canada walked 16 times yesterday, and Great Britain walked 7 times. What is that? That's 23 walks in the game. No matter, you can have a 5-second pitch clock. That game still would have taken at least 3.5 hours. It was disgusting.
Manoah clean outing, no hits. Kirk steals the bag. Kirk trying the new. I would love to see that. Kirk try the new with the new bases, the new pitch clock rule. Love the pitch clock. I don't know if I'm hoping Manoah has. I don't know how many innings he's gonna go. Kirk steals 3 bases. None. That's super bold.
That might be the boldest. That might be the boldest prediction we've ever had.
I think Manoah probably goes 4 innings today. Or maybe I don't know what their workload looks like now. Maybe even 5. I guess I don't know.
Shane here, spreading lies. By the way, Shane, you are not the biggest Biggio fan.
Eric
okay?
Shepard is not here.
Eric Shepard, who is maybe not here right now. He might be incognito. He is the biggest Kevin Biggio fan on the planet. Shane, you might be second. I'm not denying that, but you are not the biggest. I can assure you of that.
Shane,
assure you.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You can be tied for Eric for number 1 of the biggest Biggio fan.
know.
Though Eric is a crazy Biggio
Eric
fan.
bleeds Kevin Biggio.
These games don't make sense. Waste of time. Get to see some prospects go in. That's kind of the. Listen, I'd rather have this than no baseball. Shane's second biggest. We'll take it. Eric is not here, unfortunately. Though, speaking of Biggio, is he playing today? He's not, but very impressive out of him so far in camp. And I guess we'll move on to chat Q&A now, but very impressive camp out of Kevin Biggio. And he's making the John Schneider's job much harder than it may have been at the start of the camp. And even with Merrifield had a pretty good game last time, so the whole trio of Espinal, Merrifield, Biggio is doing really well.
We've been talking a lot about Whit Merrifield not really being in the lineup and not playing as well as the other 2 second basemen, but he's actually hitting 330 in the spring. So he's been having a quiet, good spring. And I'll touch a little bit here on Paul's comment. These games don't make sense. Waste of time. I don't know if he's talking about the WBC or if he's talking about the spring training games.
Okay.
However, I
Either way.
mean, if you are talking about the spring training games, they could be some of the games could be a waste of time. Like if you're a fan of the Red Sox today and you see a bunch of no-name prospects and Nico Goodrum is batting cleanup for you, then maybe the game might be a waste of time. But I mean, for fans like us and all of you in here have pretty much tuned into every stream. You love everything about the Blue Jays and seeing all these new prospects shine and players that we might not see this season play with the Blue Jays get their chance to shine right now. Then that's the real beauty of spring training, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's should play out. Okay, so I'm assuming he's talking about the WBC. Should play after the World Series. It is an interesting time, and we've spoken about this before. The WBC
Yeah,
should be after the World
WBC.
Series. Just a very weird time. And speaking of the WBC, I know a lot of you guys don't want to have this conversation right now, but we'll have it for a couple minutes before the first pitch. Is Jose Berrios, and I was
Oh
rewatching
God.
the stream yours yesterday of Team Canada. I think you were watching it live, and you said Nick is gonna have a fun reaction to this, and he
Yeah.
was horrible. He was horrible. It gave me
Dude,
flashbacks to
I
the
just
first
don't
first
get it.
game of last year, and I don't know what happened to him. He was so great with the Twins, and I don't know if anyone wants
I
to
don't
talk
know.
about Barrios or if you're all
I don't
concerned
know.
about
We'll
Barrios.
talk about it. We'll talk.
3 minutes
I'm
till first
concerned.
pitch, so may as well have a quick talk, and then we'll wrap it up and see you guys into Nate's video. But Jose Barrios conversation is one that's tough, and honestly, we might be able to do a whole dedicated video to it before the season starts. But I don't know.
I
It's
mean, he's looked good. He's looked good so far in the spring, and yesterday was I'd say his first real test. He faced the Phillies a couple times with their good lineup when they had Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos. And he did well. He did well in those two outings. He did give up a home run to Kyle Schwarber, but that's fine. That'll happen. I mean, gee, the guy's a perennial 40 home run hitter, at the minimum. But yesterday was a huge test. Jose Altuve, Ronald Acuna Jr., a bunch of big names. Luis Arias on that team, Miguel Cabrera, but he just got lit up. Anthony Santander. I mean, this was an all MLB level team, and he could not get an out. He couldn't get outs. He got two outs. He didn't make it out of the first inning. He made it out of the first inning, then couldn't even get an out in the second inning. And man, this is just a worrying trend for me. I'm worried. I'm very worried when Jose Barrios takes the mound because you don't know what you're going to get. And that was never a problem when he was with the
it was
Twins.
the
That was never a
opposite.
problem when they got him from the Twins in that first season. And now it's like, wow, do we even trust this guy to take the hill? Because I don't.
And I mean, if he turns into a question mark, then our 4-5 is Barrios and Kikuchi. But I don't know. At the same time, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold off on the panic button until he pitches a few starts. If he starts out the season horrible, then I'm gonna really panic. But I hope he'll regress back, or I guess go back, not regress, but I guess progress back to his mean.
Yeah. And there's a comment here by Shane saying he was an ace in Minnesota. He was an ace
For
in
Minnesota.
Minnesota by necessity. Like they had nobody else to take over that role. Now he's never been an ace caliber pitcher, but he's always been like
Number
he's
3.
always had the makings of a solid 2 or 3. Not an ace, but that's not what the Jays got him for. They didn't give up too much to go out and get him. Simeon Woods
Ended
Richardson
up
and
being almost
and
nothing. Funny enough,
yeah, exactly. Well, Woods Richardson's
Simeon.
going to have a solid career, I think. But Austin Martin has fallen off a cliff in the prospect world. So if you look at it in hindsight, it was a good trade to make, but they didn't acquire him to be the ace. They acquired him to be a good number 2, number 3, but he doesn't even look like that right now. And he's regressing. I mean, the stuff just doesn't look sharp, and it's scary. It's scary if you're a Jays fan.
It is, and first pitch is about to happen, so we'll let you guys go after. We'll just answer this one last question from Calvin. He said, who do you think gets in more games this year out of Zach Britton, Rob Brantley, Cam Eden, or Spencer Horwitz? And I'll let you answer that, Peter, and then I'll get my take
Go
on
Rob
that.
Brantley. Rob
Yeah,
Brantley, just because of the catcher situation.
yeah, I'd probably
Rob
agree.
Brantley.
He'll probably get up in a few games if someone gets hurt, though. I guess it depends how much they have faith in Dalton Varsho as catcher, but they basically said he's the emergency catcher. So I think if anyone's out for any period of time, they'll bring up Rob Brantley. Though I could see Spencer Horwitz or Zach Britton getting some. Do I though? Maybe I don't because there's Nathan Lukes, there's
I don't know
Addison
if we want
Barger.
that.
Yeah, maybe they give him a try in September. So I don't know. Probably probably Rob Brantley, which is not really the fanciest answer there. Probably the least fancy answer out of that, but it's probably the kind of like the Zach Collins thing last year, or the I guess what was his name?
Yeah.
I mix up Tiedemann and Heineman. There we go, Heineman. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Later, boys. Keep up the awesome work. Yeah, we'll let you guys go. First pitch just happened, so we'll let you all go. Thank you for tuning in. It's been great. And anything you want to say, Peter, before we wrap up?
No, thanks, guys. We'll see you later for the post-game reaction video, and go Canada tonight.
Yeah, and if you include Nathan Lukes, I'm going to take Nathan Lukes. That's what I'm going to take, Calvin. I'll take Nathan Lukes. Anyways,
right.
Yeah, enjoy the game
guys.
and Canada as well. It's going to be a fun one tonight. Even if Canada ultimately gets smoked, it'll be fun to watch anyway. So we'll see you in tonight's post-game video, and enjoy.